Hello and welcome to another Catholic Concern for Animals YouTube broadcast, and we're delighted to talk once again to our friends in Uganda. And today it's Father Deus of the Masaka Catholic diocese in Uganda, who will be talking to us about the work that they've been doing over there, and particularly the inspiration that you had from Chris's visit a while back. So tell me, Father.
Thank you so much, Daida. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk with us about the mission of the Catholic Concern for Animals. Yeah, since Chris left Uganda, in fact, I've been doing a wonderful mission, especially in the villages. Previously, I've been doing most of our mission in schools, but because of the COVID-19, the schools are closed. The universities, the tertiary institutions, everything is closed down. And now I've been doing the mission in the villages, but the government told us that we shall be meeting 20 people with masks, and also giving each other a space, but also following the SOPs, the procedures for prevention of COVID. But again, the mission must go on, because this is a beautiful mission about nature for animals, for the environment. And I've been doing this because the environment is very, 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 very important. Do you know that here, they told us that one of the healers, thing that heal the COVID-19 is the environment? That we need the environment which is very cool, which is very calm, which is very clean. That this kind of breeze we get, it's kind of that heals. So I've been doing this mission, inviting people to love the animals, inviting people to, because animals are part of God's creation. And also these animals, they don't live for us, but also they live for themselves, and they live for God. And people, in fact, in some villages who have been going to, people have been getting like something which is strange news. They could wonder, because some people were not taking care of the animals. We are just taking animals to be like material things, that you keep your animal there after a period of time, maybe doing a birthday party, doing Christmas, doing Easter. You can call your animal, yes, bring slaughter that animal, slaughter that chicken. But now people are believing, are getting this new teaching, this new message. And one of the things that impressed them is about the prayer for animals. You know, Chris has been sending us some magazines, has been sending us some newsletters, has been sending us like the Ark. He gave us the Ark. In fact, the Ark is so much inclusive, whereby you can get different types of prayers for the animals. This was so beautiful. This was so wonderful. Here people thought that the prayers are only for human beings, but also for the animals. Another thing that impressed me, saying that also animals, they're like us, that also they have souls. Okay, I remember one time, you know, when people are bringing Christianity here in Uganda, something that impressed me, because for me, I mastered in history. So we did how Christianity came here in Uganda, how Christianity is spread, how the gospel spread. But now, the missionaries, the White Fathers, were hesitant to ordain the black man. They are thinking that the black man don't have souls.
Yeah, yeah.
So now they are very hesitant. But now this said that also the animals, also they have souls, that also they communicate in their own way with God, and God loves them. And if God loves them, but also we must love the animals. When I love the, yes.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean, I think what I think you know, kind of like really struck me about that is this, as you said, the idea that we are all part of this God's creation, and how has that resonated? How has that kind of how has that been received by people in rural areas in your parish? Have they kind of do they accept that they are part of the creation around them? Do they understand that, or do they still see it as being the animals and the creation around them as being a means to achieve their survival and their ends?
Yes, in fact, some communities, because this mission of the CCA, it is a new teaching in my diocese. In fact, it's a new teaching in Uganda. Yeah, it began with our ministry, but with the time we are preaching to them, they come to accept, but they ask a lot of questions. In fact, if you can talk to Chris. When Chris was here in Uganda, you got a lot of questions to answer, because it was something, it's a new teaching that people could not perceive so much easily. But now, because of the saints who we have, Saint Francis Assisi and other saints, letting their lives with the animals, now these people, they become to believe. And also here, you know, in Uganda here, there's so much belief in the Pope. Pope. They have faith in the Pope. So the Pope's encyclical Laudato Si, okay, the Pope writes about it, the care for the environment, because of the humanity and the animals. Now, imagine if the Pope says this, who am I to oppress or to refuse to take this message? You know, it's something which is it's going slowly but perfectly. But the diocese is very big. We are moving little by little. And even on Sundays, after doing my homilies, after the Mass, we meet small groups of people, we meet them, and then we continue to interact with them, teaching them about the care for animals and their concept of animals, and also the animals, they portray the glory of God. And we are supposed to be co-creators of God, but not to be destroyers of creation. When I'm destroying an animal, I'm destroying creation. When I'm mistreating the animal, I'm destroying creation. And the Pope say that yes, this world must be a place whereby everything should live happily. Even animals, they have their habitats. And in fact, you see, people have been cutting a lot of trees, destroying the lakes, all those things there. And now the government has come into force that we should not destroy that kind of environment, because the animals live there. The snakes live there and the other animals. If we destroy those things there, and then we're destroying creation, because animals are part of creation. But yes, little by little, they're getting the message, and the message is so powerful, and the message is so interesting. And in fact, you see, also when I first met Chris, when he was telling me, I first met him in Nairobi. I was telling him about this. I saw it was just a new teaching. In fact, all the years I spent in the seminary, I had never got theology about animals. I never read about it. But it was through Chris that he came to preach to me, and then I was so much excited. He encouraged me, and then coming here back to Uganda, I called him to my diocese, and then took him to the bishop, and the bishop told us, yes, Chris, I give you freedom, go to the part of the diocese, preaching this message of care for animals. And now people are trying to change their perspective towards the animals. Yes, they come to love them. They are part of us. They are part of us. Because if I'm a creature of God, the animal is also a creature of God. So I must treat it how I must treat the animal. How I should care for animal. If an animal gets sick, I should get medicine. If an animal needs water, I should give clean water to the animals. Clean water. I must give an animal something like a shelter where to stay. When an animal needs warmth, I can light fire near the animal so that it gets some warmth. Yeah, people are perceiving it, and in fact, there is a great change about people's perspective for this CCA in my diocese.
That's great to hear, and I must admit, what you said about until recently, the idea that black people and women as well didn't have souls, and now we have, you know, we recognise that was an idea which really was misplaced in the teachings of the church.
Yes.
And you know, hopefully the same will be true about animals, and of course there are bigger aspects to this in things like climate change and other changes we'll bring about in creation. Are you seeing changes in the diocese, changes in nature, which are happening because of things like climate change and the activities of people?
Yeah, I think there's a great change which is positive for the concern for the environment. In fact, when I talk of the environment, it's something which is inclusive. Human beings inclusive, animals inclusive, rivers inclusive, and even the creatures in the lakes. Okay, even the trees and everything. So people, in fact, are taking something which is positive, because they say the environment where we live, I'm part of the environment. If I destroy the environment, then I'm destroying myself. Because also trees are they bring very good breeze, oxygen, warmth, calmness, fresh air. Okay, and I'm part of it. So when I destroy it, I'm destroying myself, because I get life from the environment. For example, I get life from the trees. I get life from the waters, and also I should respect each and everything I found in the water, because also that's where they live, that's where they become happy, that's where they praise the glory of God. When I see an animal very happy, when I see fish very happy, when I see a tree which is beautiful, which is so much with branches, just when the breeze comes and the tree does like this, so it brings glory of God, and it brings peace peace to my soul. Also, it brings peace to the animals. It brings peace to everybody. So people's perspective is changing positively towards the environment.
With respect to the areas that you cover with the Masaka diocese, what kind of animals do people tend to be involved with? Tend to be involved with in their farms as companion animals? What kind of animals do they experience, as it were? Do they engage with?
Yeah, they have the cows, they have the goats, they have the sheep, they have the rabbits, they have the pigs. Yes, those are the kind of animals. They have the dogs, we have the cats. Yes, those kind of animals we have mostly. In fact, when you come to Uganda, mostly at least you could find an animal to each and every home. At least every home you find an animal.
And have people's attitudes changed towards the animals that they are involved with?
Yes, people, there's terribly changed, because now you could find that people could be having maybe pigs, and then you could just tie them outside. But now we tell them, if you have a pig at home, please get a very good shelter where that animal can stay. When you are giving water, give clean water. Don't give dirty water to the animal. When the animal gets sick, because go and see a veterinary doctor and comes and puts the animal. When the animal is having worms, that is not feeling well, is not very happy, you must give the herbs that can kill the worms from the animal, so that they become very happy. And it has changed. And people were keeping these things, these animals for food, but now the attitude has changed. You could find that they love them and they become part and parcel of their families.
And what about the wild animals in the area? I mean, they presumably still are a threat to the animals that people keep, and a threat perhaps to the people themselves. Are people prepared? I mean, are attitudes changing towards the wildlife?
Yes, yes. In fact, the wildlife attitude is changing because now what the government did here, we have an organization called Uganda Wildlife.
Uh-huh.
Uganda Wildlife. This wildlife, we have what we call national parks, where this wildlife, where they live. And they told people not to go and encroach in that land. We leave them there. They get their food there. And again, there are people who are concerned, who move every day, the doctors, to treat those animals. They get them, they treat them, they vaccinate them. It's so beautiful. But also some wildlife, some of them are very dangerous. They're very dangerous. But also we try to keep far from them. We don't live near their home, but we go there with guided tours. We go there to visit them, to see them in their environment. We're not supposed to encroach them. But also they tell us when we go there, we must maybe feeding them, having maybe bananas. You can give them some bananas. You can give them some biscuits like that. Yes, but so beautiful, so beautiful.
I know from our previous conversations with Resty that you have a lot of young people involved in the diocese, and
yes.
Do the young people particularly engage with the kind of messages that CCA that Chris brought over?
Yes, for us again. In fact, in my office, I'm the assistant youth director of the younger people like that. Yeah. Mostly I deal with the younger people, and when Chris can witness when he came here to visit, most of the part we visit the younger people in schools, in villages, but also the younger people are taking this message to be a beautiful message, and they're taking their perspective towards loving animals, towards caring for them. In fact, when you could come here in Uganda, you go to homes, you go to villages. The people in charge of these animals are the younger people. And in the morning, they're supposed to take them to go and eat food. Midtime, they're supposed to take for the animals, to take for them good water. In the evening, supposed to bring them back home. So, in fact, the younger people are the one in charge. The mother or the father, they buy these animals and they get them. But somebody who's in charge are these younger people. But also, they're receiving the message well. And in fact, there's a very, very, very good, very beautiful change, which is positive towards the care for animals among the younger people, among the younger generation. And I think our message landed on a fertile ground. I could say that.
Do you get? I mean, I don't know what chance you have to see how things are going beyond your diocese in Uganda and beyond in Africa more generally. Do you get a sense that these kind of ideas are taking root across the continent, across Uganda and across Africa?
Yes, maybe across the diocese. Another neighboring dioceses. I chat with some younger people. I chat with some priests there. But again, the message has not yet stick to the minds of the people. But because also they need to be preached to. As Chris Fagan came and preached to us, we may define the youth leaders in the villages like that. So, and then we understand the message. But if this message is taken to across Africa, across other dioceses, I think the message will be very much welcome. Mm-hmm. Yes, but presently we still need some more time. We still need some more, maybe more visits to different villages and even communities, making preachings in the churches, making some flyers, so that this message may be welcome.
And when we talked to Resty before, I mean, our focus at the time was very much on fish and on the on fish welfare because of what we were doing at the time. How is fishing and fish welfare in Uganda? Has there been any changes on that score?
Yeah, there's changes there with the fish welfare here, because people in some areas the economic activity people were doing were fishing, especially around Lake Victoria shores. There it was fishing, and people were fishing this small fish. And then the government came in with strict laws and strict orders not to fish small fish, unless fish which is big. And in fact, because there are some nets that the government abolished, you could put that net in the lake. It could get each and every kind of fish. It could eat every kind of, which is small, big like that. So it was like destroying. But now with the strict measures of the government, I think there is some improvement in fish welfare.
You mentioned several times actually government activities. Is the government in Uganda strongly pursuing environmental issues and animal protection?
Yes, the government strictly is pursuing these animal issues and environmental protection, because when you're not supposed to destroy a forest. You want to build in the swamps. You're not supposed to do activities in the swamp, for example, like digging, putting other activities there. We should leave the environment in its own original way, how it was created by God. And the government is very strict with the environment. With these polythene bags, with these bottles, all those things, that the government is very, 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 very much strict.
You also mentioned the impact of the coronavirus and COVID-19 on the area. Has that had a big impact on life in your diocese? How are things going there? Are people getting to terms with COVID?
Yes, people are getting in terms of the COVID. When the COVID arrived here, it was allowed in 2019. 2020, we were put under the lockdown. And we were supposed to keep our social distance. We were supposed to use the sanitizers. We were supposed to put on the masks. We were supposed to go for immunization. But again, to some extent, it affected us, especially because now people came in a time whereby we had not enough food. Because we were locked down. We were not supposed to cross a district. We were supposed to cross a village, and some people could get their food across villages, across districts. And then coming to us here, you find that people could not get enough food for themselves and again for the animals. Yeah. So it somehow affected us. But thank God, but we managed to survive, and the animals survived. Yeah, but also also poverty, because treating these animals sometimes it needs some money, and people were not supposed to go for work, so it made some effect on us. Yes, and we felt it, Yeah, because sometimes for us we are eating maybe 3 deities, but we could find that you could eat one. Then sometimes the animals, instead of giving it food, you should give animals water like that. So it so much affected our mission. But again, we have come out in the full gear so that we continue to push on with this ministry.
Yeah. Well, I know Chris is looking forward to coming back over and seeing you when he can, because now that COVID restrictions are easing, and it looks like I can let him talk for himself. He's just arrived, so I think this is Mr. Fegan. Hello, Chris.
Chris Page.
Well, he seems to be having some troubles joining us. I'm sure that's
Apologies. Hang on. I mean,
welcome, Chris.
I'm gonna have to log out now. I got some technical issues. Bear with me a minute.
Oh, join the club.
Yeah, I've got.
Well, right on cue, just as I was mentioning him, he turns up. One of the things which has struck me about talking to Resty and strikes me about talking to you, Father Deus, is your enthusiasm and your energy. And is that something which you can take into the diocese and use that enthusiasm and energy in respect to the work you do in the church?
Yes, yeah, because that's how we were created, because we are trained, and when you you believe in something, okay? What the mind speaks, the hand should be doing, okay? And because I'm the one who trained Resty with my mission among the younger people, so she should imitate me with this kind of enthusiasm. And then, yeah, by the way, when you preach with action, something comes from your heart, okay? You believe in it. You believe what you preach, and people get to understand. And when we are talking, people enjoy. But now sometimes talk like, oh, the man, yeah, you see, this figure came here, like that. No, but you should be with energy, because we are dealing with the younger people. We are dealing with younger people. And again, our bride is still young. So we must show life in our ministry. We must show life in what we speak. So also let's say he's doing it very well here.
And you mentioned earlier as well about kind of respect for the Pope and Laudato Si and the kind of the lines the Pope has pursued with respect to God's creation and the unity of creation. Does that come across in the church in Uganda? Is the current views, the current activities of the Pope, are they kind of key to what you're saying, or what you are doing over there?
Yes, that's is so much evident in my mission and the mission of the Catholic Church in Uganda, because for us we believe in the creation story. In the book of Genesis, God says everything God created is good. Everything God is created is good. And he's asking man to be a co-creator, not a destroyer, to act on God's creation. That's our mission. And every baptized Christian, because he's having this mission of being a co-creator, of adding value, of putting something on God's creation. When you find an animal that is sick, I must treat it. When I find somebody who is sick, I must treat him or her. When I find somebody who would like to come and destroy a liver, I must stop that person. So, because by doing that is part of my ministry as somebody who's created. And when we are teaching catechism of the Catholic Church, again we put that message among the young people to love myself, my God, and my neighbor. The animal is my neighbor, the liver is my neighbor, the fish is my neighbor, the trees my neighbors. So we must live in peace because we are living for God. We are not living for ourselves. We are not living for others. Maybe an animal is there living for me. Afterwards, I eat it. No, that's not being the mission. The gospel says love. Love one another. When I love, yes, love.
Welcome, Chris.
I'm very sorry about that. So, my apologies, Father. I'm having real problems here. And I'm not been very well for the last day or two either. So.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that as well, Chris. You're not the only one who's been having technical problems. We were late starting because I had a few issues as well.
Yeah, I got back from Holland House feeling very ill for the last day or two. So.
Oh, well, I hope that is only a temporary situation, Chris.
Yeah,
it's good to have you on board.
I took a COVID test yesterday and it was fine. So, well, I might have picked up COVID.
Yeah. Father, to get back to what we were talking about in terms of question, I mean, for me, having that attitude about the animals are my neighbours and nature is my neighbour is a lot easier because not many of those animals actually threaten me, actually are dangerous as far as I'm concerned. For you, there are quite a few animals in the diocese, in the wildlife who actually are dangerous. That must be a much more difficult thing to take as your neighbour and something you love.
Yes, some animals are dangerous, especially the wild animals. What we do, we don't go and encroach their habitat. We don't go and attack them. And also they don't come to attack us. And when we see a dangerous animal in our environment, we call the government officials, especially the organization called Uganda Wildlife Conservation. Okay, they come, they have their techniques of getting the animal, and then they take it back to its place of live or its habitat. Yeah, some are dangerous, but also these animals are dangerous when we don't show love to them. If we love the animal, for example, the dogs, the cows, the pigs, I come, I give them food, I give them water. So they see me also. They see me, so they're in love with me. When the animal is sick, I just care about the animal with TLC, loving care, like that. So yeah, they are dangerous if you are dangerous. They are peaceful if you are peaceful. Yeah, if you give peace, you get peace. If you get love, you give love, you get love. If you give hatred, you get hatred. So we should live in love because everybody needs love.
That is a great message, Father. And so it's really matters respecting animals, whether they are animals you can engage with or animals that you need to respect.
Yes.
Terrific. Chris, is there anything that you want to pitch in? I know you've only recently joined the conversation. I apologise for that.
I'm sorry, just again to apologise for being late with the technical issues, and I said I haven't been checking the game for the last couple of days. So I said, Father, I'm just glad to be here. I'm great to see you. Firstly, I'd like to say.
Thank you so much.
Despite all the technical problems this morning, great to see you. Still hoping. And I said, I'm not so good. I had a COVID test this morning, which is negative. But hopefully, I'll be able to come and see you next year when travel restrictions are lifted.
That's be wonderful. When do you expect to come? Which month?
Well, I had hope to be there in the spring, if that's possible.
In the spring?
Maybe February.
February, yes, that'd be beautiful.
Depend on all sorts of things. I mean, I haven't been on a plane for 18 months.
There's no problem. There's no problem with that. So
there's no real at the moment possibility of getting on one. Although the situation here is constantly changing regarding the travel. The government keeps changing the regulations and restrictions. So it's possible to say what things will be like in February. But if possible, I would like to get to see you again next spring.
That's beautiful. We are so much waiting for you. Everybody is talking about Chris.
We do that as well. We all talk about Chris too.
Yeah, I hope it's a polite conversation.
Missing the vegan deity. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to coming again and seeing what effect, if any, my last visit has had. That'd be very interesting.
Okay.
Father, is there anything else that you want to talk about you think is important with respect to what's been going on in your diocese in Uganda?
Yeah, something that we must be doing, we must continue to do the mission, okay? Because the mission is very, 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 very big, and my diocese is one of the biggest dioceses we have in Uganda, okay? So we need to continue doing the mission, going on the radio programs, in the churches, in the schools, in the villages, and also getting more materials, magazines for this message here. But also we need the thing I was thinking about with the rest here, maybe translating this message into our local languages, because they have different local languages, yes. So people understand much better in their local languages. And when you see, when Chris came here, we were with him in the churches, in the schools, in the communities, and when he was speaking, so we had to interpret this message to the people. So if we could get these small messages in our local languages, and then we go to the community, and then we can give this this maybe flyer, can give this copy that people can read something for themselves to get to know the message. But people like the message, they love the message, because for them it's a new teaching which is beautiful about the concern for my neighbor, and also knowing that the animal is my neighbor, the animal is my friend. So when I give animal, when I give an animal peace, I get peace. When I give animal love, I get love. So something which is so beautiful with this message here. But for us, we are ready to do the mission, and we're waiting for Chris to go deep in the villages. Last time, and Chris was here just for maybe for 4 days, 4 days there, just a little. We did him like 3 weeks, 4 weeks like that. And yeah, we should have done work which is so much beautiful. Yes, and big.
Well, I'm really pleased to hear that the ARC is and the newsletters are something which are proving useful to you. I'll take on board what you said about the prayers in the ARC, and we'll try and you know, make sure that they feature in the future.
Yes.
And it's been again absolute pleasure talking to you, Father. I always love, well, I mean, the 2 conversations we've had with you and Resty, I mean, just wonderful enthusiasm and zest for life and for creation coming through, and thank you for that. Chris, is there anything else that you want to say?
Yeah, I think so. Firstly, just to say that Africa is very important to Catholic Church and and Uganda really is a very important country for us within Africa. So one of the things that we've been, badly affected by with the COVID pandemic is the fact that we can't visit friends and colleagues in Africa. And that's been a real problem for us in the last year and a half now, as I said earlier. The pandemic is still affecting us. We still can't travel freely. I had this COVID scare and test on yesterday. It's not going away, and I think that's a message that we need to consider as well. But despite all the difficulties that the pandemic has put, and we have got an organisation lightly compared to the horrendous effect it's had on many hundreds of thousands of people who have died, unfortunately, throughout the world. We want to get back to Africa as fast as we can, to spread the message of Catholic concern to animals. Africa remains an immensely big priority, and within that, Uganda is one of our jewels in the African crown, if I can say it that way, for the CCA. The work that Father Deus and Resty and others have done in Uganda, and the bishop and the diocese, we're so grateful for, Father. We really are grateful for the work you're doing to help us in God's care and concern for animals. So, the final message is really upset we haven't been able to get to see you in the last year and a half. As soon as we can, we'll be on that plane to Uganda.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris Fegan. Yeah, thanks so much for everything. Let's see, I would like to greet you.
Well, I was going to say that. Let's come on and say hello.
Yes, come on.
Yes, hello, Gerard. Hello, Chris.
Hi,
yes, how are you? Wow, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. How have you been?
We've had a few technical problems this morning, I'm afraid. I apologise for that.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
Well, I mean, having said that, what I will say is that we take this technology for granted, and here we are speaking live from the UK to Uganda, which
wow,
and we communicated in ways we would never have thought of, say 20 years ago. Especially when I was a young man, which was a long time ago now. We had these old telephones. That was they were the cutting edge of technology. An old Miles telephone that you've probably never seen. Telephone was what we had. I can even remember my phone number from those days. And now we have these phenomenal mobile phones that have computing power more than the original space program, I believe. And we have this technology, and we take it for granted.
Yeah.
So when it goes wrong like today, it's a huge thing to us. And then it reminds us how lucky we are to have it.
Yes, yes. But we are waiting for you. We are waiting. We can't even wait to seeing you. I'm even wondering why this COVID is not ending, because this message is just wonderful. The message is marvelous. People are welcoming the message, and on seeing you, they will be extremely happy.
Well, my last visit to Uganda was one of the best things I've ever done on behalf of Catholic Concern for Animals.
Oh, wow!
The reception I got from both of you and your colleagues, and from the people of the diocese, in the churches, in the schools, meeting people just in the community, was absolutely fantastic. I remember when we stopped and had our photograph taken at the equator. Remember, on the first day we stopped against that sign and had our photograph taken. That was really important for me. I've never done that before, had my photograph taken on the equator. So that was wonderful. But the actual work we did together, the message we did for animals with yourselves and most importantly, apart from with the bishop and the seminarians, which is very important, but with the the ordinary Catholic people of Uganda in those packed churches. Never seen a church so packed. In the UK, you never get that. I still remember speaking in those churches, packed all the way, doors wide open, and people out on the grass trying to listen and put their heads through the door because they couldn't get in the church. It was so full. But they were there outside on a lovely summer, well, not summer, but it was a Sunday morning service. And then we went to another church, and then we went to another church. We went to the schools the following day. Absolutely fantastic, and I loved it all, and I can't wait to get back as soon as I can get on a plane and safely come and see you.
That will be wonderful.
Can I just say thank you very much, Father Deus, for talking to us today. Good to see you again, Resty. It's lovely to see you. Your enthusiasm, as I said, and energy is just inspiring. And I've not been to Uganda, but I must admit I really enjoy talking to you on these YouTube conversations, and thank you for that. And that's the end of this particular YouTube conversation. I hope you join us for the next one, and I hope to have more of our friends from Uganda in the future. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
so much.